He has an awful lot to say about that. I suppose a bit of a conspiracy theory about that, which, as of this moment, cannot be proven. But that's not what Gardaí are saying. That's not what the Garda investigation has uncovered so far. The Garda investigation is that the remains were recovered after 8 weeks. Mr. Kelly is trying to assert that a possibility that the remains were discovered in the first week and that they sat on that discovery.
Thank you for watching Why I Killed You TV. Please make sure to comment, share, like, and subscribe to this particular channel. And this particular YouTube video, I would greatly appreciate it. Those of you who have not been watching the Michael Gaine case, guys, you have to really watch it. It's very interesting. It's out of Ireland. We have a farmer by the name of Michael Gaine who disappeared. He was a married man. He was a productive part of society. He had a huge farm. I believe it was over 100 acres. He had workers. He had friends within the community. He was well respected. This man just vanished. He went to the local store to get some phone credit, and he vanished. There's no camera footage of him leaving the area where he bought the phone credit. He just up and vanished. And then the next thing you know, after he was reported missing, guys, his car showed up in close proximity to where his farm was. And there was no scuffle whatsoever at the car. So everybody's trying to figure out, how did the car get to that particular location? Was he driven there, or did he drive himself there, or what happened? But all in a nutshell, guys, it has already been determined that he was dismembered and he was put into a slurry tank. I'm not sure if his entire body was put there. A chainsaw was used to dismember his body. And the slurry tank that he was put into, guys, they are claiming that the police had already checked that slurry tank, and they are not sure why the police did not find his dismembered body sooner. Okay, so my whole thought process is, was the body there in the first place? Was the dismembered parts there when they looked the first time, or did somebody put him in that slurry tank after the police had already looked? And so in this particular interview from Shattered Lives, this is pretty much a long interview. I'm just going to be summarizing it. It is going to be an interview between Michael Kelly and the interviewee, Paul. Michael Kelly is a suspect. He is a suspect from the United States. He was actually living in Ireland. He was actually living on the farm. I guess he was actually a worker of Michael Gaine. And he is actually a ex-Marine. Now, from what I've been reading, they said he is a private. If he is a private, and guys, I am retired military. I was not a Marine, but I was in the Army. If he was a private, guys, that's a very low rank in the military. No disrespect to anybody that is a private, but he probably didn't stay in the military very long, because private is a very low rank in the military. So I'm not really sure how long he stayed in, but it couldn't have been long if you were only a private. So Mr. Kelly had been arrested, and after being arrested, guys, they released him without charges, because he is saying that he is innocent, that he did nothing to Mr. Gaine. And then shortly after his release, guys, this is what they're saying, that he was rumored to be chopping wood at the Gaine's farm after he was let go. This is what they're saying in this particular interview. And so in the clip, Kelly confirms he was arrested and questioned as a murder suspect, and the police treated him as such. However, he denied any involvement whatsoever, and he really declined to comment on any details when he was there with the police, other than the fact that he didn't do it. So this interview starts to get a little peculiar, and I'll tell you when we're going to get to the peculiar part. Mr. Kelly says that the police never showed him any proof that the body parts that were found in the slurry tank were actually those of Mr. Gaine. Okay, that's number one. That's not the peculiar part. Mr. Kelly actually has two theories. His first theory is that the police found the body parts very early in the game, and they hid them. That's his first theory. Okay, hear me out. His second theory is that somebody else put the body parts there later. Okay, even the host of the show said the first scenario, his first theory, was ludicrous. It made absolutely no sense, and it doesn't make any sense to me for the police to find the body parts early and then hide them. Why would they do that? That makes absolutely no sense. For the police to go in there, find the body parts, and not say something, guys, because when you do something like that, when you go in there and you find the body parts, all of a sudden the police become the heroes. Okay, for them to hide it, that makes no sense. Why would they do that? So his theory, his first theory, you could throw that out the window, in my opinion, because that doesn't make any sense. His second theory, however, makes a little bit of sense, because he is saying somebody else could have put the body parts in there later. And that makes a whole lot of sense, because remember, guys, the slurry tank was already checked one time. That particular slurry tank was checked one time already. So the person is probably standing around while they check the slurry tank. They didn't find any body parts, so guess what? Then he's gonna the killer those body parts in the tank that's already been checked. Okay. And the main reason for them doing that, they're like, hey, this tank has already been checked. They're not going to come back here again. This is probably the killer's mindset. But that turned out to backfire. Okay? So that's what happened during the interview. Let's talk a little bit about the background of Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly is 53 years old, and he's an ex-soldier. He's an American soldier. He was in the infantry, and he was a private in Germany. So guys, I am prior military myself. Those of you who know nothing about the military, for you to be a private in the military, guys, that's a very low rank, and that's telling me that he probably wasn't in the military for a very long period of time. He probably was not, since he was just a private. And so what happened, guys, he actually he was living underground in Ireland for about 7 years, and then, guys, he started doing odd farming jobs, and this is how he went about meeting Mr. Gaine about 3 years ago. Okay, so he actually, from what I understand, was doing some odd jobs on the farm for Mr. Gaine, and this is how he met him. Okay, so let's look at the timeline again, guys. Mr. Gaine, he was last seen March the 20th, okay, and he was declared missing March the 21st, and then it became a homicide on April the 29th, and then the remains were found in the slurry late May, about 8 weeks after it had already been searched. After the slurry tank had already been searched, they found the body parts in the slurry tank 8 weeks later. Okay, so I just wanted to break down that long ass interview that they had. And like I've said before, guys, whether it's Mr. Kelly, or it's the nephew, or it's the wife, or if it's another relative, or it's one of the workers, guys, it is whoever killed Mr. Gaines is somebody who has access to that
play
farm.
For you, that he is being treated as a suspect in this case. He lived on the farm with Michael Gaine for the past 3 years, he told me. So he was going around canvassing farms, as he put it, as an illegal immigrant in this country. He's originally from Maine in the US. He's 53 years of age. He's a former soldier in the United States Army.
Everybody, there was, sorry to interrupt you, Paul, a lot of online speculation that he was a Marine.
Yes, no, he wasn't.
Because Marines would be, a higher level of soldier than an ordinary, you would call a grunt. And they're very, they're shock troops, like paratroopers or, that sort of thing. So they're higher level, but he wasn't. He was an ordinary soldier. He was a private.
Yes, he told me he was
in the army.
He told me he was a private in infantry, and he spent some time in Germany, and that he ultimately became a conscientious objector, as he put it, over an incident happened in the Gulf War, an infamous incident in which the Iraqis were retreating and the Americans slaughtered them effectively. And he said that he left the military because of that. I also asked him about whether he'd ever killed somebody in his line of duty, and he said that no, he hadn't, thanks be to God.
They hate you. You're gonna die.